Hello and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Alliance. Of course, I'm your host Clay, and with me, of course, every single week, Katie. Katie, how you
Hello,
doing?
guys. I'm doing pretty good. I'm not saying why just yet, but I'm doing pretty good.
I was
So,
literally about to say it. That's why I hesitated, and then I was like, "Wait, I'm not gonna say it." Also, there's a lot of things that we can't say this episode because, like, the books that we are reviewing today um actually have a lot to do with the other book that we're currently reading, and so I was thinking about
we
that all
should have
day.
tried to get these in, but Andor releasing 3 episodes a week just completely
Yeah,
threw everything off.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, Katie has finished Trials of the Jedi. I will be finished by Friday, and then I will have another read by the time we are recording. So
yes. So, guys, if Clay wants to take his headphones off for this, I don't know. I'm not. You can't say anything
you can't say
spoilery
anything.
at
You
this
can't say
moment.
anything.
But if he didn't want his vision of the book clouded at this point, okay, so he is going to take his headphones off. So, guys, I posted an Instagram story on this. Basically, I cried so much. But I also loved it. I loved being tortured like this. There's a lot of heartbreaking moments, but it was the end of the High Republic as we know it. So it just completely makes sense. That is all I'm going to say for the moment because I don't want to get in trouble. Um, but like, not that I would get in trouble. I don't know. But like, I just don't. I don't want to say anything that I'll regret that might lean spoilerish.
Yeah,
So,
so our email leaned very heavy into, hey, no spoiler talk until this date. And I have seen other people posting non-spoiler stuff, and they're like, hey, we can't say anything until the release date. So I'm really glad everyone is being really cool about this and just being like,
mhm.
hey, no spoiler
Now,
talk.
I have seen somebody's review and I bookmarked it because it was posted on the Star Wars books Reddit. And somebody posted this and were like, why would you talk about this? I hadn't read it, but I went back and read it after I finished yesterday. And they revealed who died.
Wow.
And it's just like
That's messed up.
the whole point,
And
like, yes, we
that's not
theorized
a
who
spoiler,
could.
guys. We're exactly we knew, and we knew, let's just say, in our predictions, hey, Charles Soule said that, like, some shit's gonna happen, so we assume people are gonna die. So that's not a spoiler.
Mhm.
Um yeah. Yeah.
So if you were looking for reviews on how this goes, be careful what you wish for. This book, guys, is out June 17th. So just under 2 weeks now. Um, and yeah, it's a ride. I hope you're prepared for it.
All right. So before we accidentally say anything else, let's go
Moving
ahead
on.
and jump into it. I was looking at some of our news talk since the last time that we were, of course, live.
I would say
And
there's really not news that we would typically talk about. Like, the only thing potentially is that Dark Horse is releasing the sequel trilogy graphic novel collection. Guys, if you got stuff from IDW, this is not new material. This is what IDW published as their graphic novel for the sequel trilogy. It's just collected into one giant omnibus, basically. But this, guys, is a Star Wars Newsnet exclusive, and it looks like this will be dropping November 12th.
Yeah, and I will say this. The art for the cover for this collection looks amazing. I really like the
Mhm.
cover art for it personally. So this might be something that I pick up literally just to display on my bookshelf. I actually have not read the actual. I don't really pick up the comic book adaptations.
Mhm.
So that's just me personally.
I have been picking up the Marvel stuff. A lot of the IDW stuff, I kind of regret picking up.
Oh, really?
Um, it's they're all different sizes, and as somebody who like would like to read everything one day, that's a lofty goal, but that is a goal that I have. But as somebody who has collected most of the comic book things purely for, hey, let's complete my collection kind of thing, they don't look too hot on a bookshelf, to say the least. And maybe Dark Horse is going to change that. But also, I bought the IDW stuff already, so like,
Yeah.
that's my opinion on the IDW stuff. If I hadn't bought those, I would probably pick this up because it's a collection. Um, so, but it is also it's related to the prequel trilogy, the one they did last year. So I would imagine we're gonna get an original trilogy collection as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
And I'm double checking on Star Wars Newsnet, guys, but there's really nothing. So
Yep. Very, very slow, non-existent news week for sure. In Star Wars. So let's jump into Premonition and Volume 4. Due to the timeline and technically release, we are going to talk about them in that order. We're going to talk about Premonition because it released first, and it is technically first in the timeline. And then we will talk about Volume 4. And Katie, first things first about this book, Premonition. You read it way in advance before me
I read
because
it like the day it came out.
I literally read this morning at 6 a.m. You had told me that this is your favorite.
This is 100% my favorite. Y'all, this story is by Daniel Jose Older, and the art is by Haining, which is different from the other Edge of Balance books, because like Edge of Balance Volume 4, the story is by Shima Shinya and Daniel Jose Older, and then the art is by Mizuki Sakakibara.
Yes.
And pardon me if I'm butchering these guys, but
And I will also say Premonition is literally top tier Star Wars. For it being a book about the real enemy of Star Wars, that being Yoda, this book was amazing. Like it, the tone, the writing style, like it all felt like this could have been an actual novel release.
yeah.
That's how intense this was.
Daniel Jose Older is an artist, and it makes me wonder. Not that I'm all like I want new people to come to Star Wars, but I wonder potentially if the collaboration for the Edge of Balance numerology ones with Shima potentially held some of the story back, because that's been our biggest critique of 1, 2, and 3 was, hey, like this isn't like the best storytelling, but this is like killer.
This was top tier. I really, really dug this. Guys, this literally takes place immediately after Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
And funny enough, Volume 4 happens at the same time as Premonition. because how you see the certain characters that are in both of them, you can kind of piece together the fact that Volume 4 actually happens at the same time as Premonition.
Yeah.
But
basically, there's a segue in Premonition where Yoda sends the younglings off, and
yeah,
that's where Volume 4 picks up.
yep. But yeah, Yoda is Yoda and the younglings being oh shoot, I know he says their name very quickly in the it's Nima and oh, she has an apostrophe name. What is it?
Look at I'm Googling.
Oh shoot. He calls them younglings way too many times.
Oh wait, is it on the artwork in the back of the book?
It might actually be. So it's Nima and Vivnia. Vivnia and Nima are the two younglings. They're being chased by Nameless at the beginning of the book. I really like the visuals of the Nameless effect in this book compared to literally everything visual that we've seen, comics and everything. I like it here most. This has a little bit more of a like horror-esque thing. So I really dig that like horror look to it.
And I don't consider this spoilery, but so I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Older and Soul were able to mirror what they got out of each other. So the Nameless effects in Trials of the Jedi sound, because it's reading, sound very much like this in Premonition. Very drawn out, very fuzzy and stuff. It's really a good connection set up here.
I really dug it. But when the one cool thing that I will say about Yoda, because I don't say really cool things about Yoda very often, is the fact that like this story played upon the fact that like we always see and hear like Jedi having visions. And we haven't really gotten them a whole lot. The only really person in the High Republic that we've received it from is Vernestra. This time we're actually getting it from Yoda. And Yoda's getting like these visuals of like this family, and he's not really sure what's going on. He's like, okay, there's a disturbance somewhere else. I need to go help them. And that's where he leaves the younglings to take care of themselves. And then he gets on a ship and flies off to what he thought was some sort of abandoned satellite.
Yeah.
It's actually
like a Nihil hideout where Niv Drindo is basically setting up different experiments, basically. And he's got this family that I think one of the kids is force sensitive, so he's trying to get them to Bulin. So I think this is like taking place potentially at the same time as like Tempest Breaker. But there's a lot of connection there. And so Niv Drindo basically ends up being the bad guy along with Marchion Ro. Marchion Ro makes another appearance in this, which kind of connects it and Precedent, because, well, Precedent has Marchion Ro. Yes, it does. So it kind of connects the two as like being like siblings almost. And so Martian Rowe ends up being like a catalyst sort of thing here. And the Leveler, we get to see the Leveler, because remember, the Leveler is the beast that was carried over from phase 2 of the High Republic. So he is like the oldest of the Nameless that Martian Rowe has. And Yoda ends up communicating with the Leveler. And this is the catalyst that we were waiting for Trials of the Jedi, basically. Is like, okay, what is Trials of the Jedi going to actually be? This tells us right here.
Like, I really dig this. For one, I dig it because Yoda at first, when noticing he's getting these like flashes again, which he thinks are like visions of like his past or whatever, because of course the Nameless is like messing with his mind. And then while he actually has some time to get away from the Nameless and think about it, he sees another one and he's like, wait a second. I've never seen these people actually die. This isn't my past, it's your past. Because I believe the one to actually get him to realize this was the fact that he saw, and it actually broke my heart a little bit because we haven't talked about him since literally the first book of the freaking phase 2. Oh shoot, what's his name?
Was it Aslan?
Wait. No, not Aslan. It is.
Are you talking about this one?
No. I'm talking.
Oh, is it Lily's Padawan?
Kevmo.
Oh, yes, you're right.
He sees Kevmo, and he's like, and that makes him realize, oh, wait a second, like this. I never saw him.
All
die.
The people the Leveler are killing, basically.
Yeah. So, when he finally communicates with them and he finally realizes, oh wait, it's been in front of me this entire time. It's empathy. It's the great power that Buryaga used in Temptation of the Force, right? So he has that in mind, and that's when he's trying to communicate with the Leveler. I love the giant splash page of Yoda on Planet X, realizing, oh, this is all you want. Like, you are in as much pain as everybody that you hurt. Like, I understand now. I really dug this. Like, this, and unfortunately, like, this is the kind of stuff that I actually wanted Tep Tep to do. Because there was so much teasing of like Tep Tep trying to get in the head of a Nameless.
Yeah.
And they never did anything with it. This was the kind of stuff that I was hoping Tep Tep was going to be able to do. But I mean, at least we got it, right? We got some sort of realization of like, oh, this is what needs to move the Jedi to go on to doing this. Which is why in oh gosh, I guess the timeline is a little wonky because
it's really wonky.
Because there's other what was the other Tears of the Nameless and Valiant Vow both mentioned the capturing of Nameless.
Yep.
As well as
Into the Light.
Into the Light. Yeah. But Tempest Breaker also did. So I think that's where
they were starting to do it in Tempest Breaker.
Yeah. So like all of that and plus this, like I wonder if this then happens before Tempest Breaker?
This is like the weird part where I wish the authors or the story group would specify. I think it would help a lot of things, because I
Yeah.
also feel like the vision that Yoda has, if this happened before Tempest Breaker, then why did we spend so long with not necessarily a Valiant Vow, because a Valiant Vow doesn't connect to anything like we've already discussed, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like Into the Light, could we not have maybe seen that a bit differently? I'm wondering if, well, I can't say that. I can't say that.
Do you think? Oh, no, well, I'll say this, because of Into the Light plays a really big part with it. Same thing for Temptation of the Force. Do you think that it is possible that the Blight was one too many things for this overall story of the High Republic? Now, I need you to answer this question without thinking of Trials. I know it's super hard because you've already literally finished the book.
I would say yes. I would say they needed to pick between the Stormwall and the Blight. Um and now I don't know if that necessarily means, because I think both are relevant
Mm-hmm.
as a greater purpose to everybody coming together. We are all the Republic.
Yeah.
But I have to wonder if maybe the Stormwall, because the Stormwall takes up so much time as they try to go around it and stuff. So I have to wonder if maybe it was just like, maybe it was like like you couldn't actually go through it at all, and it was like actually like a shield, like ships just bounced off of it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if maybe they didn't have to spend time trying to go into the storm wall, if maybe they still could have had both.
Yeah.
Because we spend a lot of time going, oh, I need a path engine. Oh, I like, how many paths can we try to actually get in the storm wall and hack the code? Like, it just feels like a lot of wasted time, even though I do enjoy those things about Star Wars.
I
It
think
just feels
they
like
may
they
have
didn't, they bit off more than they could chew.
I feel like they may have focused on trying to relate it back to like the beginnings of phase 1 with the whole disaster anyway type of thing. So I get that. I really do. Um so Yoda, overall, after that interaction with the leveler, Yoda actually ends up helping or saving the family that was there.
And Martian Rowe gets so pissed off that
Yeah,
the leveler will not respond to his command, basically, to take out Yoda. What did you think
I
about that?
I thought that was very interesting. Um, because again, Yoda does say in here, like, oh, like, you don't want to do any of this. Like, you're hurting just like everybody else is. I get that. So for that to happen, I was like, oh, there's a chink in Marchion's armor. Like, there's something there that they can attack at that point. So I really dug that. I really do hope that we get to see more of that. And I know it'll be like, of course, like there's not much left. It's literally Trials of the Jedi is the only thing.
And Occlusion Zone and Fear of the Jedi.
Yes, that's true.
Well, I guess Occlusion Zone has technically already come out, but like we're waiting on the trade. So never mind.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really dig that. Because again, we've had these moments of like Marchion is like the ultimate villain. He's unbeatable.
Mhm.
And I don't really like that in in villains. I think it's very what's the word I'm looking for? Like it doesn't make things fun. When
Wow.
when heroes win, you're like, yes. But when villains are winning all the time, it's like, God damn, like you're already kicking us while we're down. Like,
Yeah.
why keep doing this?
That's why he didn't like Thrawn, guys.
Yes,
uh
100%.
I can't say anything. I can't
Yeah.
say anything in regards to that.
So with that,
I'm sorry, guys. This is a really boring review, and I should have known better than to finish Trials of the Jedi. Please don't hate the show. I'm sorry.
let's move on to Volume 4. Volume 4.
Volume 4, the story is by Shima Shinya and Daniel Jose Older, and the art is by Mizuki Sakakibara. And this is the final battle on Banshee. And I kind of dug this one, if not simply because it's done, but also there's some nice phase 2 connections in this
There
one.
was. I dug that as well.
Because
again,
Bulin is in this one. Like,
yeah.
there's Bulin right there.
Mm-hmm. But again, talking that we have been with phase 3, you have to read everything, even for these.
Everything.
Which I don't necessarily like. I really don't agree with. Like, manga is super niche. The fact that you then have to go to the IDW Star Wars High Republic Adventures book.
Dark Horse.
Sorry, yes, Dark Horse. Star Wars Adventures story to understand where at least 2 of these characters like just showed up out of nowhere with. Like, that's a little annoying.
It's super frustrating, and I don't necessarily mind crossovers, but I feel like Sav just makes so many appearances across other places that you're like, okay, well, where else are we going, kind of thing. Like, and it feels just like there's too much going on other places for it to fully make sense why Dex and Sav and everybody else are here with what's going on in the High Republic Adventures. Because if this wasn't High Republic, I probably would have never picked this up. Now, I am planning on picking up the sequel trilogy one, if only because it doesn't connect to anything else. I think I want to give manga a second chance in Star Wars, where I don't need to depend on any other source material.
Yeah. Actually, I think that is a good idea. And of course, there's you get the chance of looking at a different creative team as well. So there's that. But yeah, this one thing I was a little confused by. These characters here, we just said their names, Nima and Vivnia. In the beginning of this book, they talk about how, oh, we can help, we can fight, we can do all this. They very like, there's a small moment in even Premonition where they're like, oh, we can do it, we can help. I was like, okay, this is why they're on the cover of the book. This is going to be their mission. Guys, guess what? They don't have shit to do for the entire freaking book. So it's like, why? Why do this when you have nothing for these characters?
Mm-hmm.
I was really disappointed by that.
Because, like, you look at the first one, and obviously Lily is the star of this series. So putting her on the first one completely makes sense.
Yeah.
The Padawan, Kieran, like, he is here. He has a little more stuff to do simply because he's a Padawan versus a youngling. But then we all know how this one goes. He dies at the end of it. And then you have Arkoff, and Arkoff does make more of an appearance in this, but he still plays a relatively side character to Lily. And thankfully, it's not titled Edge of Balance Arkoff. Like, that would piss me off even more. But I do think if you're going to put a character on the cover, they need to
have a
play
prominent
a bigger role.
In the story. 100%.
And especially, it's like negligible for every other cover that we've gotten in here, but it's really bad for 4.
Yeah, like, because not only are they on the cover, you literally start the book with them, with this whole thing about, oh, let us help. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh, you can help by staying right here. And then you literally don't see them again until the very end with Aslan. And I will say this, like, the best thing that they had in this book was the fact that the two younglings literally treated Aslan as like a normal person, rather than like somebody who strayed away from the light. That was nice. I really dug that, because then there was like this sweet moment where Aslan, even at the very end, was like, no, you won't put a hand on these younglings, and all of that. But that was like the most they did, literally. And I it just kind of made me a little sad. But there was nice moments.
Yeah, there's good fights, a bunch of things. Like
Lily's dialogue really felt like Saturday morning cartoonish. Like, oh, I've been so scared and I don't know how to deal with this. But through this entire time, we've learned to, embrace that fear and work together. And I'm just like, you've been saying the same damn thing for literally 4 volumes. I don't need the same message in every book.
Yeah. It's just super tough, especially because I feel like it's one thing when it's the all ages comic, but manga, I feel like, is like that young adult area of comics.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like the Marvel comics or whatever, but like I feel like manga should be able to handle itself a little bit more than what this does, because this feels like the same lesson over and over again, like you said. And it's just like, not feeling it. Again, I am excited for the sequel trilogy one, just to kind of see how it does with a different creative team, like you said, like we've said, and how it feels without other
strings
connections.
attached.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily, like, connections aren't bad, y'all. But when you're publishing so many things at once and your timeline is not clear, things get convoluted. And that doesn't help Edge of Balance Volume 4 any.
Here's something that I don't think a lot of people will know. And it may be a surprise to, someone who is strictly a Star Wars fan, who will go out and buy every single piece of media to follow the story. There is literally somebody out there who just reads manga, likes Star Wars, and notices, hey, there's these manga that have like all this is all one title. I want to sit here and read it.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to get somewhat of a story because yes, we do follow the exact same characters, but there is such a time jump between every single volume. You are not going to know what the hell is going on.
Mm-hmm. And especially, I am going to say this because this is on Wikipedia, guys, but Lily does make an appearance in Trials of the Jedi. It's not a big one. But from where she is in the end of Volume 4, I don't understand why she left, other than the Jedi Temple calling her back to Coruscant. Like, there's a lot there that it's like, it feels disjointed. So,
I feel like they meant for Lily to be a much bigger character for them. And unfortunately, these 4 to 5 volumes, because we did have precedent also,
mm-hmm.
that we just didn't have enough time with her. I feel like if you wanted Lily to be a standout character, because again, we are wanting to have more inclusion in this High Republic initiative. And I know you're like, oh, well, she's supposed to be the Asian character of this universe. So, of course, she needs to be in the traditional manga. That's not how that works, guys.
Yep.
If you want her to be more inclusive, you need to literally have her be more included in other things.
Yeah. And I feel like that's potentially what they tried to do with Trials, and it just, when your main is in this manga, it still needs to feel connected to the inclusions that you're trying to make in other spots.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I think that's it for me.
Yeah, I know this was short, guys. I'm sorry. I was really trying to avoid spoilers, especially with Premonition.
Guys, I promise you, Trials of the Jedi will be the most spoiler book that we review on this podcast.
You might need to bring some popcorn and a snack.
So that way Katie can let everything out. Okay? I promise, guys. I promise. But with that, you guys can always find me over at Fanboy Clay on Blue Sky, on Instagram, on Threads, and on TikTok. Of course, if you want to follow me in my everyday work life with comics, follow me at Blue Sky. If you would like to follow me as a dad and as somebody who has been keeping their nose in a book for the last 5-6 months, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I am currently reading a book called Unsold, which is like apparently the most anime.
Did Adrian tell you to read that one?
No, my best friend from back home told me, "Hey, here's my login to Audible. Literally read this entire series." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm literally reading Unsold right now. I am reading Star Wars Bloodlines right now.
We're gonna have to talk about Bloodlines. You didn't tell me you were gonna read Bloodlines.
I am reading, of course, Trials of the Jedi. I am literally going to start this weekend a book called The Book of Doors. And because I literally just got it from Libby, I am going to read The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. So I have a lot of books to read in the month of June. and hopefully I can get through all of them. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff for me to keep my nose in.
I don't know how you're keeping stuff straight, because I know I do this sometimes, but at least I have like different areas, because you're reading 2 Star Wars books. Like, I'll read a romance, a fantasy, a Star Wars.
The really nice thing is the fact that I'm reading 2 Star Wars novels in 2 completely different areas of the timeline. If I was reading 2 different
true.
Star Wars books with the exact same characters, I purposely chose, okay, I'm going to read something with completely different characters. So yeah, that's how I'm keeping everything straight. But it's going to be fun. I got finished last month with 6 books. So my goal is 6 books again this month. If not 7, I'm just constantly trying to, break my own record. But yeah, also Ranger Alliance, of course, a part of the GUA as well. Some big things happen in the last episode of Gozu number 1. Jake and I talk all about it. So go check out that episode. Katie, what about you?
Y'all, you can find me on most social media platforms. It is at Slice of Katie. Remember, guys, this show is not currently on any social media. So you can shoot us a text or leave us a voicemail, 830-538-4828. Just give us a nickname, some way to reference you on the show. You can also shoot us an email at starwarsalliance@gmail.com. That is Star Wars with no A, alliance@gmail.com. There's no A in the war. It's very important. Don't forget it. With that, guys, I want to wish everyone a great day or night, whatever time of day you're listening or watching, and we will see y'all next time. May the force be with you.